In Ursula Le Guin's story, The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas, there's a city called Omelas that's only filled with happy people. Everyone's healthy, and everyone's successful. Everyone but one child who's locked away in a dark cell. He suffers for everyone's happiness, and everyone knows. But everyone stays because to them, the happiness of the majority outweighs the suffering of the child. We are worse than Omelas because our child is a vast population all over the world found in clothing factories. There are countless videos that show where our clothes come from, but yet we buy these clothes all the time. That's because it's nearly impossible to avoid buying clothes that were made this way, since they're easily accessible, plentiful, and cheap. We can't control where our clothes come from, but we do have control over how many we buy, how we treat them, and what we do with them. Next time you go shopping, take a look around and see what's stocked on the shelves. Where do these clothes come from? What happens to what's unsold? Where do our old clothes go? And how many articles of clothing do we go throughout our lives? I decided to do an experiment to count how many clothes I currently have. Then I would sort out what I did and didn't wear, and after that I would challenge myself to find a way to repurpose them or find a responsible way to dispose of them. I guessed I would have 250. My result? 350 plus. I don't want to talk about it. So I sorted through the mess and got to work. I wanted to try to make a pillow, a tapestry, and some kind of wall art. Here are my tools. I already had some of them, like the iron, the sewing kit, and the bigger sewing machine, but I went out to buy the other two because the sewing machine, the bigger one, did not work! Oh, guess what? The other two didn't work either. Well, they did at first, then the seam pulled right out, because it's a piece of crap, and everything's wonderful.
Why would I do the things that you bought me for? Why would I do my purpose? Why would I sew things together?
I spent $20 on materials that didn't work, and so I cheated and bought fabric glue instead, and it worked perfectly. Ha! Back before the Industrial Revolution, people had to make their own clothes, and because it took so much time, they used stronger materials, their clothes lasted longer, and they bought a lot less. We get clothes now by going to the store and buying them for low prices, only to have them pile up at home and then pile up in landfills and blah 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 blah. But what's the responsible way to get rid of it? Most people donate, but I want to avoid that. When I was in high school, we had to do service hours, so I volunteered at a women's health center. They had me clean out their donations closet by throwing away things that they thought were unusable. They had huge bins of clothes that filled a 3-door closet. With their definition of unusable, I wound up throwing away half of what was already there. And it took me 8 hours. I figured there had to have been a more responsible way to deal with unwanted clothes. But my artsy things were taking up so much time, and I wanted to find solutions that actual adults with real person things to do could do. So my solution was to donate some of my scraps to my friend's band so they could make a giant quilt, and I would save the rest for later, rainy day projects. You know, when I got better at doing craftsy things. But here's what you can do. Here's the 24-hour rule. Next time you go shopping and you find something you want to buy, put it back down and leave. If you think about it at any point after 24 hours, then you can go back and get it. If you have to ask yourself multiple times if you want or need something, don't buy it. If you're unsure, follow the 24-hour rule. It goes in a cycle. Buy something of high quality that lasts longer. Donate directly to someone in need. Clothes exchange. Swap your lightly used clothes that you don't wear anymore with friends, or gift them. Or you could alter it and make it new. The list goes on and on. But if you're in a time constraint and just want a bin to dump your stuff in, go to planetaid.org and look up where these bins are located. Not only do they give clothes to those in need, but they actually recycle materials. Did you know your old jackets could be made into carpets? And your old sneakers into turf fields? I didn't know. So please, no more mindless clothes shopping.